My name is Khiengchai Fulton, and I am your immigrant neighbor. So I immigrated to the United States in 1980 from Laos. So in Laos, there were just a lot of unrest, a lot of fighting, and it was unsafe. I also just want to share that my dad was already in prison 3 times before we escaped. So he was a politician. So he had connection, and by God's grace, we were able to escape quickly and easily. And from there, we went to the Thai refugee camp, and we were there for 8 months. So in 1980, we landed here in the United States, and I just want to give you a glimpse of God's goodness, right? Like, we land here, and there's this picture circulating around my family. It's a picture of us coming out of the airplane, and there are like all these people, like men, women, children, and they're like cheering us on. Like, we're not really sure. We're like, what's going on? And I could see my dad like was thinking, what is probably going on? But as we were talking to people, like, what actually happened when we landed that day? And this friend of ours said, well, we didn't know what to expect. So they brought little socks for my baby sister. They brought coats. They were welcoming us like we were like an Olympian, like a famous Olympic person. And here I'm thinking like, wait, but these are like refugee, right? We are immigrating from Laos, and we have like a whole fan club. And what's really unique with our story is sometimes people are just sponsored by one family. I don't know how we got blessed, but God just showed our family a lot of favor. We were sponsored by an entire church, like men and women pouring out their love. People who would come to our house and put signs on the telephone that would say telephone so we can learn to speak English, or like, this is how you turn on the water, or people that would take us to the doctor. So I just remember that kind of stuff, that they were so good to us. I went to a Christian school, and my husband went to Wheaton, and right away I was kind of really gravitate to like another believer in the middle of the Sahara Desert. So I met my husband there, Joe there. We've been married for it's coming up on the 25th year anniversary here. We have 5 children. I homeschool our children, and 3 of them are in college, and 1 of them is in grad school in New York. So where we are right now is, even this year, I think I told you, like, we have just opened up our life. Like, I'm just preparing for God to use us wherever He needs us to go, right? As a missionary, or just at here in our town, or my husband's workplace. We are surrendering ourselves. Like, as we're waiting, my husband works at a hospital, and then one of our daughter is actually is working for the United States government. So I am also a Bible study leader this year. I'm on a homeschooling board. I host all the parties for the cross-country team or the basketball team at our house. But constantly, I think Joe and we're always looking at like, what does God want us to do right now? And it isn't really clear, but we're doing what is in front of us, right? Like, are you supposed to lead this group of women in a Bible study? Are you supposed to speak up for the refugee? Do you see children who are here who doesn't have parents because their parents got deported? So all these little things, they're not very big, but we're just like, well, we could definitely help with this one family, but not, we are waiting for the Lord. But in the meantime, I'm just leading the Bible study and being on several boards and committee at our church. My name is Khiengchai Fulton, and I am your immigrant neighbor.